Hello, I'm Frances from Homestead, and we're building a fence. This area over here by the barn used to be a cinder block wall. My sweet potato patch that I want to put in the spring was bordering a cinder block wall, and it wasn't complete. And it didn't really serve a very good purpose. When we were preparing the ground for the sweet potato patch, we decided to take out the cinder block wall. We stacked the cinder block over here against the barn, and we've been working on getting a lot of the mortar chipped off because we want to reuse the cinder block in another project. And that's another episode that'll be coming along. Most of the fencing in front of the property on this side is chain link, 6-foot chain link. And the cinder block just didn't work with this area. And all of this ground here was very uneven. There was quite a few piles of sand and holes where this giant barrel is. And we wanted to clean this up, put this chain link that we collected from the chicken run. We're also going to add a gate in this opening here. We're wanting to put a perimeter fence, and so we need to have a gate from these posts here to these posts here. And interestingly enough, we found a gate laying in some weeds when we were clearing property. So to start, we needed to level out a lot of this area. There was a very large mound here that we needed to level out to be able to get the chain link to be level between these posts over here. Okay, so we took out that big mound that was here. It was a pretty high one, and we moved it over by that buried barrel. We threw a lot of dirt into that space by the barrel. We filled in this space behind the barn. It was all just a big ditch here, and this was a big ditch. So we've got this filled in almost level here, and we've got this all leveled out so that we can take the fence right up against the posts and keep it level. And we've unrolled probably about half of the chain link. We got all the plastic that was woven into the chain link cut out. It's been a lot of earth moving, so we're going to take a break and get back to it to get the fence up on the posts. Now, of course, we have never done any fencing before, and so we are extreme amateurs, but we have a large perimeter of the property to fence, so this is a good start for us. So let's get started. Okay, so we got this section of the fence up. It's our first attempt at fencing. We've got a lot of perimeter fence to put up, and so this was a good little experience in seeing how well we can do with that. Fortunately, the posts were already here. However, there was a wide gap in a couple sections that was 20 foot, and with fencing, it needs to be 8 or 10 feet apart. And so we added a post that we had taken from the corral last fall in this section here, and also over here in this section. This was 10 foot, and so we didn't need to add anything to that section. We were able to get the chain link up. We had more chain link than we needed, thank goodness. I was a little concerned that we might not have enough, but we had more than enough. This is 6 foot chain link here, and so it's as tall as what was already up around the corner. This chain link here was pre-existing, and it goes on around the corner and up. There's about an acre that's fenced with chain link, so we wanted to just continue that. When we moved here, there was no fencing in this area, and it was all overgrown with weeds. We really didn't even know what was here, except for this giant barrel. And we're still not certain what to do with this. We're thinking just fill it with water and bury it. One option. But we added this post here. There was also a couple railroad ties that were here that we took those out. We still have a few cinder blocks left from the wall that was here that will have another episode of building a retaining wall with these cinder blocks. But we're going to keep moving these on out. These cinder blocks here still have some mortar that we need to chisel away so that we can reuse them. And this roll of chain link here looks like about a 4 foot chain link that we'll use for the front of the property on the other end, over in front of the 3 pine trees that I talked about last episode. So that the hope is to get the whole perimeter of the property fenced in, so that way we can have some goats that will free range. But we also want, of course, Diana to be able to roam freely on a property. Now, I've talked about this before, about how I want to take off this section of the barn, because as you can see, it's an add-on to the main structure, and it doesn't flow with the roof line of the previous structure. And we really don't need this much barn. We're only going to have a few goats, just for clearing the woods purposes. So this really isn't needed, and it has a lot of materials that we could use for other projects. So that's something we want to work on this spring, is getting the whole perimeter of the property fenced. And this is a good start. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It is a constant work in progress. I'm so grateful for you. Please like and subscribe. Until we meet again.